Thank you. So you're in for a treat. Super funny headliner, a good friend of mine. He's, like I said, recording his album tonight, so just keep the laughter high and the table talk low, especially they're friends of his that, like we were talking to me before the show. Just kidding. So, yeah, just laugh your ass off, have a good time, and you can welcome to the stage right now, from right here in Elkhart, Indiana, please welcome Andy Woodhull. Everybody give a nice round of applause.
Thank you so much. One more time for my friend Fritz. He did a great job. Fritzy, thank you so much for coming to this. I was getting ready to do a new CD, and I didn't know where I wanted to record it. And like 2 years ago, I did a show down the street at Paradigm, and it was one of the most fun shows I ever had in my whole life. So I thought, maybe I'll go back to Elkhart, and, it'll be great. And I've been doing stand-up for 16 years now, and a lot of people that have been doing it as long as me, they do it in a big theater. And I was like, right downtown Elkhart, there's like the Lerner Theater. It's real big. And then I talked to them about how much it would cost to rent it out and how many seats they thought I could sell and stuff. And then we worked it out that I would come to this basement instead. But I'm happy. I feel like basement people are my people. Yeah. Basements are the best. It's a funny story how Fritz and I met. We actually met at a zoo. I was having a real fun afternoon. Just ran into him. What a friendly guy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm happy it's the winter time. Who else is happy for the winter time? I like the winter time. It's my favorite time. I like when it gets cold outside. I like it because I got seasonal allergies, man. And then the winter is the only time that I can breathe normally. So I love it. I take Flonase to combat my seasonal allergies, which is a nasal spray. I think it's the most hardcore of all of the antihistamines because you shoot it right up your nose like real drugs. Makes you feel like a tough guy. Just shoot it up there. It says 1 squirt per nostril on the bottle, but sometimes I do too. That's the kind of man I am. I go a little bit harder than some people. One time my buddy said, "Have you ever tried 3 squirts? Are you out of your mind? 3 squirts? What, do you want me living under a bridge for the rest of my life? On a 3-squirt-a-day Flonase habit? No more personal relationships, but my sinuses are super clear." I noticed they started putting on the bottle, just this year, a warning that says, "For use in nose only." So that's just been rattling in my head for a while. The knowledge that people are shooting Flonase into places other than their nose. And they're doing it so frequently, the company has decided to put something on the label to try to put a stop to it. I don't know about you guys. I don't trust warning labels on medicine. Have you ever had medicine that said, "Don't drink while you're on this medicine"? And then you drank while you're on that medicine, and you thought, "I don't think I'm ever going to drink without this medicine." This medicine has really enhanced the drinking experience. So it makes me think there's a place you can shoot Flonase, and it's really fun. I don't know where, but I have a guess. I think we all have the same first guess, don't we? Downstairs nose, 3rd nostril. The one that usually only breathes out. You know the one I'm talking about? That's where you can get the tightest seal. That's what you need. You need a tight seal because it's expensive medicine. You don't want to shoot it up there and then just have it trickle down the inside of your thigh. You want a tight seal. I assume you lay on your back, shoot it up there, and then throw your legs up over your head for a while. Like you're ovulating and you've been trying for a baby for years and you don't know if it's him or you, but this time you're keeping it in. See what happens. I haven't tried it yet, that's for sure. I haven't tried it. I have thought about it a lot. And one thing I've decided is if I ever do try it back there, that's what it's for, from then on. You can't try it back there and then the next day be like, "You know what? My nose is pretty itchy." think I'm gonna switch back to the old schnoz. You can't go A to N. That's the most important thing. That's the warning label that should be on the bottle of Flonase. I like seeing people having their drinks. My brother took me to a winery tour. He lives in California, and he took me on a winery tour. I'd never been. If you've been, it's a fun thing. They show you the whole winemaking process, and then it's fun for me to think about when I'm buying wine at a gas station. When we got to the tour, the first thing that happened was they handed me a handful of dirt, and they said, "Smell this dirt." And I smelled it, and I was like, yeah, I can tell that we're going to have a fun afternoon. This is going to be a good time. All the most fun times of my life started off with a soil sample. This is going to be real great. There's bugs in mine. Is that a good sign? The tour was very fun. And then we ended the tour in a cave. That's where they aged the wine, in a cave. It's all aged in these oak barrels. And this woman was telling us all about the barrels, and she said every barrel has a hole in the top, and that's where they pour the juice in. And that hole is called the bung hole. She said that, and then I almost died from laughing so hard. And I was on the tour with 20 other people, but nobody else was laughing. Who are these robots that can hear this woman say bunghole over and over again and not even crack a smile? She honestly said it's important to have young wood around the bunghole. You kidding me? Why don't you get out of here with your filthy mouth, tour guide? I raise my hand. I say, "Excuse me, I have a question. What happens if there's a spill? Is there a special cloth or towel that you use to clean it?" And she said, "No. Why would you even ask that?" And I said, "Well, because I was under the impression that you're supposed to use DPE for the bunghole." I don't know. I had 4 wines in the afternoon. I'm just trying to have fun. My brother was so embarrassed, though. He's like, "What's wrong with you? You're making potty jokes? We're on a fancy tour right now. You're supposed to be a professional comedian." I said, "Yeah, I am supposed to be a professional comedian, but unfortunately, I will never be as funny as this woman is being right now." In my opinion, this is the funniest woman in America. If that woman was recording an album right now, she would have sold out the Lerner Theater. Probably done 2 shows. I get jealous of wine because my favorite drink doesn't get the respect that wine gets. My favorite drink is banana daiquiri. Any other daiquiri heads here tonight? I love banana daiquiris. They're delicious, but people tease me for liking them, and I don't think it's fair. I think they should get the same respect that wine does. I would like to go to a field of banana trees and smell the dirt they're growing in for an afternoon. I think that'd be fun. I would like to go into a cave and watch someone slide a banana into a bunghole. Moving in and out, looking at me the whole time. Ooh, what's that real thick one? Is that a plantain? You guys making plantain daiquiris down here? Interesting, I'll give it a shot. I like to go to the Caribbean. That's where you can drink a banana daiquiri and no one teases you. It's a safe space for daiquiri lovers. You feel comfortable right there. I was there, and I walked up to a bar, and I said, "I'll take 1 banana daiquiri, please." And the bartender said, "Do you want it dirty?" And I said, "I don't have any idea what you're talking about right now." I mean, I guess I understand that this country doesn't have the same health regulations that my country has. But could you just make it as clean as you can? Could you do that? And this guy said, "No, a dirty banana daiquiri means I'm going to put chocolate in it." Well, no, I don't want candy in my banana daiquiri. I'm trying to get drunk right now. I'm not trying to trick or treat. I drink it straight up like a man drinks a banana daiquiri. 1 banana daiquiri straight up in a coconut if you got it. You know what? I'm on vacation. Why don't you make it a double? 2 shots? No, 2 bananas. It's like, you don't even understand what it is I like about this drink. I wanted to buy a plant for my home. I thought a plant in my home would be nice, so I went to a store that sells plants. And I asked the woman working there, "Maybe you could help me find a plant that would be good for my lifestyle." And she said, "Sure, let me just ask you a couple questions. First question, how much light do you have in your apartment?" And I said, "I don't know, I have maybe about a dozen switches, but it's like totally up to me which ones are on, so I can handle any kind of light this plant needs." And she said, "Second question, are you ever away from home for long periods of time where you can't water the plant?" And I said, "Well, sure. I'm surprised you don't recognize me." Andy Woodhull, I'm off on the road 6-7 days in a row. And she goes, well, I'm going to stop you right there because I can't in good consciousness sell you a plant today. I don't think it would survive. This woman has known me for less than a minute, and she's already decided I'm the kind of man that has no one in his life that would water a plant for him while he's out of town. You don't know me, lady. I got spare keys all over this city. It's a bad business model, isn't it? You're only selling plants to people that are going to keep them alive forever? I would imagine the biggest market for plant sales is people with dead plants at their home. I'll open my own plant store. I'm going to sell hard-to-keep alive plants to people, and then I'll sell another one every month for the rest of their lives until they give up. My friend has an app on her phone called Plant Snap, where you take photos of plants, and then it compares the photo you took to a database filled with hundreds of thousands of photos. And using that information, it can let you know what type of a plant you took a photo of. And I did what I assume every man has done when he found out about this app, and I took a picture of my junk, and I uploaded it into the database. Right, guys? That's what we're doing. We're getting our junk in that database. That's a little treat for the programmers over there at Plant Snap. And for everyone that's wondering, I'm a 13% match for a sweet potato plant. Honestly, I'm kind of proud of it, too. Don't you think I should be? That's one of the good ones. Sweet potato. It's not an eggplant. That's the best you can do. But it's not a radish either. Feel proud of a sweet potato plant. I use it to flirt with women. Just like, oh, what's up there, sweetheart? You want to try some of these complex carbs? Get over here. Oh, hey, honey, you look like you might not be feeling too well. You want to come take a ride on the ambulance? I'm going to be your ambulance driver for the afternoon. And I think sweet potato plant was the funniest result that I got. But it wasn't the only result I got. I was also a 48% match for a tropical rose. Very elegant, I know. But 48% is too close of a match. That's almost 50-50. That's how much it looks like a tropical rose. If that's true, then you could take a picture of a tropical rose and the app would say, this might be Andy Woodhull's penis. It's tough to say. It's a real coin flip. It doesn't look anything like a tropical rose. I don't know why I got that one. There's no similarities between what I have in my underpants and a tropical rose. Maybe humidity is one thing they have in common. But there's no petals on mine. There's no thorns running up and down the stem. Nobody's ever taken a look at it and been like, I'm gonna stop and smell that as a metaphor for enjoying the finer things in life. Just like, you know what your problem is, Sarah? You don't stop and smell Andy Woodhull's penis often enough. Maybe if you did, you'd appreciate what you have. It's funny to me, though, because to me it means so many guys have taken pictures of the penis and put it on this app that the app is no longer able to differentiate between penises and flowers. And that could be our funniest achievement as a human species, don't you think? It makes me laugh all the... Because to me, it means so many guys have taken pictures of their genitals and put it on this app that the app is no longer able... Did I already say this part? They're gonna have to edit this, you know? I'm not even drunk, I'm just nervous because they're recording it. We're gonna have to start this one over. Fritz, bring me back up. We can't cut this Plant Snap joke off in the middle. This is one of the gems on the new album. This is the one people are gonna hear and then go on the app themselves. I'm gonna move a lot of apps with this one. A lot of people are always texting me which vegetables they got, you know? Get a lot of rutabagas. Not many baby corns. The baby corns don't write in as often as you would think they would. Anyway, let me see if I can pick this up in a way that they can edit it so I didn't fuck up. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, this is the Alaska state flag on my sweatshirt. I bought this sweatshirt in Alaska, and I loved it so much, I was like, I'm gonna get an Indiana state flag for my recording, and guess what? It didn't come to my house on time. So I'm just wearing this Alaska one and trying to pretend like I'm not until one of my idiot friends just shouts out Alaska in the middle of the show. So anyway, just pretend like none of this happened and continue laughing like you guys were laughing earlier. You guys know how to do it. You're a smart audience, I can tell. The trademark of a smart audience is they don't laugh at everything. That's how you know you have a really smart audience. And you guys are good so far, I can tell. Nobody's getting too carried away. Because it's smart to not laugh at everything because you paid for a certain amount of time, not a certain amount of jokes. So if you're able to be quiet after some of the jokes, you end up getting more jokes for your money. And it just makes sense financially. So anyway, I think it's so funny that this app gave me 50% match for a tropical rose. I think it's the funniest achievement of humankind. I can't wait for artificial intelligence to become real, because I want to start messing with these robots. Like, hey, robot, you want to meet me at the park later today? And he'll be like, I will not go to the park. It's full of dicks this time of year. My friend that has the app, she called me one day and she said, I was using the app and I found some mulberries in my backyard. They're so delicious. Would you like for me to save you some of these delicious mulberries? And I said, no, thank you, because I don't trust your app. I don't know what those are, but I hope it was over 50% mulberry, whatever it is you're eating. Did you pick them from a bush or did you pick them from a squirrel that ran through your yard? I don't know what those are. I'm not gonna believe those are mulberries unless you send me a video of a monkey chasing a weasel all the way around that mulberry bush. I bought a Roomba this year. That's a big purchase for me. I bought a Roomba. I don't have time to vacuum my place anymore, so I bought a Roomba. What I do now is I sit on the sofa and I watch the Roomba vacuum my apartment and I criticize what kind of job it's doing. It's password protected too. Thank God we got a strong password on that Roomba. We don't want the Russians hacking in, cleaning up my apartment while I'm out of town. I get home after a long trip. Who's been cleaning in here? This is suspicious. You gotta be careful, man. First they hack the Roomba, next thing you know, they're in the blender making daiquiris no one can enjoy. Bought a car this year, too. That was a big purchase. When the salesman was telling me all the features of the car, he said, this thing's really cool. It's got an econ button on it. It's this button with a green leaf, and if you push this button, then the car will get better gas mileage. I was like, that's cool. But have you ever thought about just making this car good all the time? Do you really think there's times in my life where I go, I had a pretty good night in Elkhart. I think I'm gonna use a little extra gas on the way home today. I deserve it. And he said, sir, you don't understand. If you turn the button off, then the car gets better acceleration. And I was like, oh, okay, but I'm trying to buy a Honda Civic right now. You think I'm gonna drag race this thing? I think some kids are gonna pull up next to me at a red light, just talking trash, like, hey, old man, you wanna race or are you a chicken? And I'll be like, you punks messed with the wrong old man today. I'm turning the econ button off. I'm gonna win this race and mess up the environment for your kids. My apartment's great, but it's got thin walls. That's the one downside of where I live. I have very thin walls. I hear everything that happens in my neighbor's apartment. I assume that he hears everything that happens in my apartment. It's weird sometimes. The one upside is if I'm ever running low on something, I can just say, Alexa, order toilet paper. And then if I can get it from his front door before he notices, free toilet paper. The downside is obviously no privacy. No privacy. I know everything about my neighbor. We never even met face to face. I know everything. We have the same first name. His name's also Andy. I know all the sports teams that he cheers for. I know he had a friend over yesterday, and his friend asked him how his date went the previous evening. And he was not totally honest with his friend. I know that. His friend asked how the date went, and he goes, pretty good. We're just trying to see if we like each other or not. But I heard everything, and they like each other a couple times that night, would be my guess. I'm not a pervert. I'm not trying to listen to my neighbor have sex, but it's difficult to ignore sex noises. It's impossible to ignore them if the woman is calling out your name. I heard her say, Andy, keep going. And I was just like, I was done a while ago, sweetheart. Alexa, order wet wipes. I stay at a different hotel almost every single week of my life. I've become a connoisseur. I'll tell you my favorite hotel I've ever stayed at. It's a Red Roof Inn in central Indiana. And here's why it's my favorite. I was checking in for the very first time, and I said to the guy at the front desk, $40 a night, is it even worth it? And this guy goes, well, sir, we have a gazebo in the parking lot. Oh. Why didn't you say so earlier? I'm gonna call the rest of my friends. We're doing spring break here this year. I love that gazebo because it has 2 signs on it. The first sign says, for hotel guests only. I guess they had a lot of riffraff from the town showing up using the gazebo uninvited. And it was becoming a real problem for the hotel patrons. They're at the front desk complaining, hey man, my wife and I are out there in the gazebo trying to enjoy the view of the highway you've provided for us. Meanwhile, this knitting circle is taking up all the good seats. How are we supposed to enjoy the sights and sounds of the Cracker Barrel across the street when every couple in this town is showing up to get their engagement photos taken? Makes me laugh a lot. But it's also helpful, because a lot of times in my life, I have showed up at these meetings, and there's like this icebreaker game you have to play where you have to say, if you had a time machine, where would you go and what would you do? And I used to not have an answer to that question. But now I do. Now I know that I would go to that Red Roof Inn parking lot, to that gazebo on the day before they decided to put those 2 signs up. Something happened that day, and I want to know what it was. All right, I gotta take another break because I just realized I made another mistake. I'm sorry, Anthony, at all the editing that you're gonna have to do on this. So the second sign says... The second sign says, use at your own risk. Hotel not responsible for accidents. I've been thinking about that one for a long time now, and I still can't think what type of accident might take place in a gazebo. I always thought of it as a safe space. I feel like something dangerous was happening. I'd be like, quick, let's all get in the gazebo. Nothing bad will happen while we're in there. We can't even get sunburns while we're in this gazebo. But I love it, because sometimes I get asked this icebreaker question. If you had a time machine, where would you go and what would you do? And I used to not have an answer to that question. But now I do. Now I know that I would go to the Red Roof Inn parking lot, to that gazebo on the day before they decided to put those 2 signs up. Something happened that day, and I want to know what it was. How crazy do you think that day was that it made the Red Roof Inn invest in 2 signs? One of the R's has been out in Red Roof for over a year, and they never got that fixed. But now they got 2 laminated signs? That must have been a crazy day. A couple local guys hanging out. Hey, buddy, what are you going to do tonight? Well, I'll tell you what I really like to do is party at the gazebo down at the Red Roof Inn parking lot. But you probably got to be a guest of the hotel or something like that. Well, that's where you're wrong, my friend. I happened to be there earlier today drinking some lemonade, writing poetry. And while I was in there, I noticed there's no sign on that gazebo. You know what that means? That means we can do whatever we want. I said we party there tonight. Let's do it. Well, let's do it like we did that gazebo in the Home Depot parking lot in 2013. Let's set it off, my friend. Let's tell everyone we know. Let's round up all the gazebros. The best part is, if there's any accidents, the hotel's gonna be responsible. Get the chainsaws and the fireworks. We're about to have the time of our lives. I'm gonna shoot Flonase into places people only dreamed of before today. I would never do that on my own insurance because my deductible is so high. But if we're on the corporate Red Roof plan, I'm gonna empty the body out back there. What a fucking disaster that one was, huh? But it actually worked better the second time around, so I might just start telling all the jokes twice. I was on a road trip with a friend of mine, and I smelled a fart. And I'm not a curious man by nature. I don't know how the world works. It never bothers me. The one time I become a real detective is when I smell a fart. Whenever that happens, I'm like, we gotta get to the bottom of this right now. So I asked my friend, I said, hey, did you fart? And she said, I farted yesterday. I said, that's probably it then. I bet it was the one from yesterday. It must have been it. Did you fart in a jar and just now take the lid off of it? How tight are your pants? Did you have them on yesterday? Did you maybe fart in a wormhole and it's been traveling through space and time until it just now hit me in the mouth and nose? I thought it was such a cute answer. I farted yesterday because she wanted to let me know she didn't fart then, but she does fart sometimes. It's very cute. I think it must have been a memorable fart the day before. She was sitting in the passenger seat, just like, I hope the topic comes up, because I got a real doozy I want to talk about. I got something I need to get off my chest. Either it was memorable, or she keeps track of all of them. That's my other idea. Maybe she keeps track of all of them. Maybe she got a fart journal. She writes in every night before bed. Dear journal, it's been 8 days since my last fart, and I'm beginning to wonder that I may never fart again. I've tried everything, medications. Last week I judged a chili cook-off. It still hasn't happened for me. My other idea is a fart tracker app. It's in development right now. I don't know when it's ever going to hit the market, but I think a fart tracker app would be really cool. If you're on a road trip with your friend and you're like, uh-oh, my farts are 20 minutes apart. If they get down to 5, we got to find a rest area quick. If we get down to 2, I'll settle for some thick woods. I ran into one friend of mine that I hadn't seen in forever. And this guy's got a couple unique things about him. The first thing is he eats Altoids constantly. And he says stuff like, I eat these things religiously. And I don't judge people based on religion. But if your religion is mint-based, it is stupid. So he's always eating Altoids. And the other thing about this guy is he has horrible BO. And I just find it fascinating that someone would have 2 smelly problems and decide to do so much about one of them and nothing about the other. Have you ever had a conversation with someone with really fresh breath but also horrible BO? It's a difficult conversation to stay involved in. You gotta sway around. The trick is you want to keep your nose in their breath for the whole conversation. That's what I do. I try to just kind of keep my nostrils in the jet stream. He went to give me a hug goodbye and I kissed him. That's how desperate I was to not smell this guy. I've been having a fun year, though. I went to the Iowa State Fair. I'd never been there. I was playing a gig in Iowa, and this woman was like, you gotta go to the Iowa State Fair. And I was like, I don't know if I will or not. And she goes, they're handing out free corn there. Well, if that kind of a value is in play, it would be financially irresponsible of me not to go to the Iowa State Fair. Corn, you know, we know. I'm from Indiana. Corn is free whenever you want. All you have to do is stop and get some. They don't even try to protect it. That's how surprised they would be if you stole corn. I mean, I love it, but also sometimes they don't even pick it. They just let it die, and then they make a spooky maze in it. That's how valuable corn is. So I wanted to check it out. One of the things I saw there was a cow carved from butter. I checked that out. You've seen it before. It's very nice. I waited in line to see that attraction. The whole time I was thinking to myself, I don't even go to art museums, but I'm putting in 20 minutes in a line to check out a cow made out of butter. They have a person on retainer for the whole year that carves the cow. That's what they put on their taxes. Artists, just, oh, what medium do you work in? Dairy, mostly butter. I think they probably have to keep them on retainer the whole year because that's how long it takes to collect that many packets. I finally got in there. It's what it's exactly what it's a cow made out of butter. It looks exactly how you think it would look. I was just in there and I was like, I have an interesting way that I want to butter this free corn. I wonder if anyone would stop me. to milk a cow there, too. That's another fun thing you can do. You can milk. I had never milked a cow. I don't know if you guys milk. I'd never milked one before. It was very exciting. I got some cookies. I got a bucket. I was ready to go. And then they told me you don't get to keep the milk. What? You don't get to keep the milk? Why am I even doing it then? $3 is too expensive if you don't get to keep the milk. You know, I met a guy earlier today that told me I could do anything I want with a goat for 10. There was a baby goat pen at the fair, and on the front of the baby goat pen, there was a sign that said, "Don't let this baby goat suck on your finger." And I just want to compliment the people of Iowa. That was the only thing that they had to write on the sign. Because I've been to some other states, and I think in those states, you might have to have a much longer list of things you can't let the baby goat suck on. This Iowa State Fair might not make it onto the CD. CD. It's probably not even going to be a CD. Nobody buys those. I'm letting myself get too distracted right now. Just having a good time with you guys. One of my friends still does Irish goodnights, like when we were young, and going out to bars. You know the Irish goodnight or Irish goodbye? When you just leave a place without saying anything to anyone? He's still doing that move. But he doesn't do it at night when we're drinking. Now he does it in the afternoon if he notices that his kids have 100% of my attention. He'll sneak off. He'll just sneak off and take an afternoon nap while I babysit all his kids for free. I wouldn't mind, except his kids are new to potty training. I'm not used to being around that. These kids are like door open, talking the whole time, new to potty training. Never been around it. These kids are pooping in front of me like we've been married for 30 years. I was raised to look at people when they talk to me. That doesn't seem appropriate for this situation. I turn my face towards the wall. This poor kid probably wondered why I put myself in a timeout. Well, I put myself in a timeout so the police don't do it if they find out what happened down here. I'm talking to this little boy, and he asked me one of the toughest questions I've ever been asked. This little boy goes, "Hey, Andy, do you know how to wipe butts?" What a complicated question, right? That's a tricky one. I do know how to wipe butts. I'm fine letting you guys know that. I'm great at it. I've been keeping mine spotless for, I would guess, 37 years. It's super clean. Considering I've never even seen it myself, I think it's a miracle how clean it is back there. I got a system. I do 1 dry, 2 wet. You could eat off it if you wanted to. That's the level of cleanliness I'm talking about. You could eat off of it. No spaghetti is my one rule, though. No spaghetti. I'm so ticklish. I don't know how to answer this kid's question, though. I don't want to say no, because I don't want a 3-year-old walking around going, "Hey, do you guys know Andy? Guy doesn't even know how to wipe butts. What an idiot," right? But I don't want to say yes, either, because I'm worried that he's asking because he wants my help with his butt right now. I don't want to. I don't think I'm legally allowed to. Also, I'm great at it, and that could cause a problem. What if I do such a good job that the next time his dad's doing it, he looks up at him and goes, "Hey, Dad, that's not how Andy does it." I was in a real pickle, man. I didn't know what to do. I ended up just Irish goodnighting that kid on the toilet. I just left him there. Poor kid might still be there, as far as I know. People ask me sometimes what I do all day. I can tell you the main thing I do all day is unsubscribe from emails. That's the main thing I do. That takes up probably 75% of my day. Isn't it suspicious when you click unsubscribe and it takes you to another webpage and it's just like, put your website in here? Isn't it suspicious when you put in... Isn't it suspicious when you click unsubscribe and it takes you to another webpage that says, type your email address in here? It's like, no, I don't want you to have it again. They're always surprised when you click unsubscribe. It takes you to a thing that's like, oh, we're so sad that you don't want our emails about men's vitamins 3 times a day. Please give us some feedback to let us know why you don't want them anymore. And then it gives you multiple choice that you're supposed to check for them. I think it's cute. They're surprised you don't want their emails, but they also know 5 good reasons why you probably don't want their emails. I was unsubscribing from a pizza delivery email list. They're sending emails every day about pizza delivery, man. The first choice was too many emails. Yeah, that one definitely applies. It's way too many. One is too many emails. Our transaction should end when your delivery guy drops off the pizza. That's all we need to do. When he's driving away, I'm never like, hey, buddy, you stay in touch. My favorite reason of why you might get off this pizza delivery email list was my financial circumstances have changed. What a rough life that's got to be, you know? Your life's in such a bad spot, you can't get pizza delivery. Oh, man, we just split up. I lost my wife. She's going to leave me. I'm not going to be able to make my mortgage. I'm going to lose the house. You know, my whole world's falling apart. But first things first, I better get off this pizza delivery email list. It's frozen pizzas from now on for me. Did I forget any of these ones in the earlier part? We're about to move on to the second part. These are my notes, guys. I'm going to be selling this set list after the show. No, I am grateful you guys came. And this is a unique show for me because most of you know me, and I know, well, a lot of you, and that's very unique for me because I've been on a lot of TV shows. I've been on The Tonight Show. I've been on Comedy Central, and I tour the comedy, tour the comedy. I tour the country. I don't know why I'm more nervous than normal, but I tour the country doing stand-up comedy. It's been my dream since I was young. Since I was living here, it was my dream to do what I'm doing exactly right now. But I'm also at this weird level of success where most of the shows I do, I hang out at the bar right next to a poster of myself, and nobody knows it's me. So this is really, really fun. I've been recognized a few times. It always is very exciting to me when I get recognized. I got recognized at Walgreens by my apartment. I went in the Walgreens because I had to buy an embarrassing product. I went there to buy this product that men sometimes have to buy that get itches in specific places. It's embarrassing. I was in there, and they had two different brands. They had Lotrimin, which is the name brand, and the front of the box of Lotrimin, it says Lotrimin. And then they have the Walgreens brand, and the front of the box of Walgreens brand, it says Jock Itch. And it says it in the biggest possible font that could fit onto the front of a box. Like, the people at Walgreens had a meeting, and somebody said, I think we should write it small on the box because it's embarrassing. And someone else said, I think we should write it as big as possible because these guys are going to be itchy and distracted when they come in here. If they can't read the box from the other side of the store, they're just going to buy mayonnaise and run out of here. How big a font should we use? Well, do you know the eye chart? We want E's straight across. That's what we're looking for. We want people that are legally blind to be able to tell this guy's buying a box of Jock Itch ointment. Looking back on it, it actually said Jock Itch AF. Yeah. I saw that and I thought, oh, this must be for the really severe cases. I later found out that AF used to just stand for antifungal. Anyway, I buy the Walgreens brand because it's $1 cheaper. And then I'm just standing in line, and a guy comes up to me and he said, oh my God, you're Andy Woodhull. You're my favorite comedian. I can't believe I'm meeting you right now. And I was just like, yeah, man, I can't believe that I'm meeting you right now either. I don't know if you believe this, but when I came out to buy this, I was hoping I wouldn't run into anyone. Even talking to this cashier is kind of a bummer for me, honestly. But I don't know, whatever. Go grab your own box. I'd be happy to sign it for you. Nice to meet you. Here's the biggest change in my life since last time I was here. I started dating. I took a 5-year break from dating. I was like, no dating for 5 years. I'm just going to be married. Now I'm back, baby. Dating again. Who knew? I never thought it would happen. Never thought that, but it did. And I was married in North Carolina, too. North Carolina does this weird thing. There's this weird law where if you want to get a divorce, you have to stay separated for a whole year until you can file for divorce. A whole year of separation. That's the kind of thing that the government is able to do for you. The government's like, listen, we know that you're so unhappy that you're willing to totally turn your life upside down. And what we want to do for you right now is make sure that feeling lasts at least a year. It's been a weird year, that's for sure. My friends found out I was getting divorced. They're all giving advice. One of my buddies goes, here's what you should do. You should have sex with a woman much younger than yourself. Maybe 23, 24 years old. That'll make you forget about your problems. I think it's a good idea. I can tell you who's not on board for that plan is women like 23, 24 years old. I ran it by a few of them, and they were all like, aren't you my dad's friend? I mean, we know each other, but I don't know if we're friends. Did he say we're friends? Weird year, for sure. A year of separation. It's over now, like it's been a year and a few months, but it was weird, because I went on some dates during that year, and you have to let them know you're married to someone else. It's rude not to. And towards the end, I had a good system. Towards the end, I would tell women that I'm in an open marriage. I would just be like, yeah, it's open. It's super open, actually. It's so open that I don't even know that I could get back in it if I wanted to get back in it at this point. One woman told me she thought it was hot. She goes, it's hot. Do you ever do three-ways? And I said, well, I'm interested. And you're interested. We're 2/3 of the way there. All that's left is for us to give my wife a call, see what she thinks about it. I mean, I would make the call myself, but my number's blocked. If I do it, I have to call my lawyer and have my lawyer call her lawyer. It's a hassle. You should make the call. You should make the call and do it on speakerphone. I want to hear what she says. Divorce is never fun, but it's fine. I think everybody is happier now, hopefully. The worst thing about it was I was a stepdad. I had 2 stepdaughters, and I love those girls so much, and I hope I get to be a big part of their life forever. That's my hope. They're the coolest kids. I certainly miss them sometimes, that's for sure. And if you have any teenagers in your life and you miss them and you want to talk to them, all you have to do is change your Netflix password, and they call you right up. That's how you get them. It's weird now, because I'm not a stepdad anymore. It's a weird thing. Now I don't know what my role is exactly. Now I'm just like a guy that loves high school marching band, which is a weird thing to be. I'll show up for the competitions, and people will be like, which ones are your kids? And I go, none of them. I love this band. I can't get enough. This is my favorite genre. I was their 3rd parent. They had the original 2. And then they got me. I was number 3. Then their dad got remarried. That's 4. And there's a chance their mom gets remarried again. 5 parents. These poor kids are divorced these days. I hear my kids talking to their friends like, I don't know, 5 parents is too many. We're going to have to get a van to get these parents around to all our activities. We should have stopped at 2. I don't know what we were thinking. Remember, you get the first 2, and you're so into them, and then you get the 3rd, and you're like, that's fun, this new 3rd parent, then you get the 4th, and you're like, uh-oh, I guess we got 4 of them now, and then you get the 5th, and you're like, Jesus, I'm exhausted. You parents do whatever you want. We don't even know what to do anymore. I don't know. I always complain I don't give enough attention from them, but that's just typical middle parent stuff. You gotta deal with it. Dating again hasn't been awful. There's certainly fun parts. I like first dates. That's my favorite thing. I signed up for all the apps and stuff on Tinder. A lot of women on there looking for somebody to take them on an adventure, which is high stakes for a first date, in my opinion. I want to go on an adventure. I'm always like, I was going to see if you maybe want to go Panera this afternoon. That was my idea. If you want, we could go through a bad neighborhood on our way there. Is this adventurous? I normally order the bacon turkey Bravo, but because we're on an adventure, I think I'm going to get a U-Pick too. Who knows what's going to happen? I might end up getting 2 salads. How crazy would that be? She's talking to her girlfriends. It was a great date. He got half of Fuji apple and half of Asian chicken. Who knows what's going to happen when you're with this guy? So adventurous. I like finding out what you have in common with a new person. I think that's the fun part of dating. One woman and I, we found out we both love dogs. And then I told her that I love the Purina Incredible Dog Challenge, when they catch frisbees and stuff. And she said, I hate the Purina Incredible Dog Challenge. I would never watch it. You should never watch it either. You should never buy anything from that company because they test on animals. And I'm also against animal testing. But I do think if there's one company that should get a pass, it's a dog food company. And I don't even know who else is testing the dog food, if not for dogs. In some ways, it's mean not to let them try it, isn't it? There's just some guy in a cubicle somewhere. Like, what are we trying today, Bill? Another steak and potato formula? All right, I'll give it a shot. Get out of here, you gosh darn dogs. I'm trying to try this dog food so you can have it once I know it's safe for you. What is this, Wagyu beef? It's so rich. I love it. Bill, you know what the secret is to the dog foods that you make? How dry they are. That's what I gotta commend you on. another woman and I, we found out we both used to hang out at the same bar. And she goes, I'll tell you a crazy story. Something happened at that bar. My brother's friend was murdered in that bar. And I said, that's horrible. I'm sorry that you lived through something that awful. And then she just goes, wait, I'm remembering the story wrong. He killed a guy. Okay, well, remind me to never ask you to testify on my behalf. I don't think I like how you keep track of the facts in your stories. I thought I knew where I was going, and then it had a wild twist at the end. One of my favorite first date questions is, tell me something about you. Not a lot of people know. Here's a fun answer. One woman gave me, she said, I have a rare medical disorder called Raynaud's that causes me to become cold sometimes. And I was like, I hate that you suffer from it, but I do have to let you know it may not be as rare as you think, because I also get cold sometimes. I didn't know there was a name for it, but I have it too. For me, it's a seasonal disorder. Mine's always flaring up in the wintertime. Sometimes if I'm at the movies in the summer and I have shorts on and I get a blue icy, then sometimes it can cause me some trouble too. We were just having fun, joking around about it. She goes, we're joking, but you should look it up. It's a real thing. And so I looked it up, and it is real. And if you have it, there's no reason to come up to me after the show and tell me what a jerk I am and how it's real. I believe that it's real. But I do think everyone should know, right under the description of the disorder on the internet, it says, often self-diagnosed. And that's how you know you have a real serious medical disorder, when you tell the doctors all your symptoms, and he goes, you know what? I'm super busy today. I have a lot of sick people I'm trying to help. I'm gonna let you handle this diagnosis on your own. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll write you a prescription for some mittens, and I need you to get out of my office. I grew a beard. This is a divorced guy move. Grow a beard. I never had one before. Now I have one. I don't even know how to take care of it right. I go to the barber shop to get it trimmed. First time I went in there, I said to the woman that was going to do it, I said, I'd like one beard trim, please. And she looked at me and she said, it's not ready yet. Which was so embarrassing. That's the whole reason I had gone in there. And now not only do I not know how to trim it, I don't know how to tell when it's ready to be trimmed. I thought when I looked in the mirror and wanted it shorter, that's when I could come in here and have you do that for money. But now I know there's a whole other system in place. I don't know what it is. I'm an Indiana boy. Is it like corn? Is it like knee-high by the 4th of July? How do you tell with these beards? And she said, trust me, I'm a woman. Women are going to like it how it is right now. And I said, I do trust you as a woman. Thank you for your opinion. But before we make a final decision, could we just check in real quick with some of the prettier women in the shop right now? And she goes, I just did. They all think you're a jerk, and you should go right now. I was on a date with one woman, and we decided we were going to go back to my apartment, which was very exciting. But I knew I had no protection at home, so I said we have to stop by Walgreens on the way to my place and pick up some protection. And just so you know, before we get in there, a lot of people know me there, so who knows what's going to happen. And we're in the condom aisle. And I didn't know which one to pick. There's so many choices. And I asked her, like, do you have a favorite? And she said, yeah, I do. I like the ones for the really big penises. I was like, okay, well, do you have a second favorite? A second favorite. And she didn't. So it was up to me. And fellas, if any other fella is in this situation where it's put to you that you have to pick the condom you're going to use, I think there's only one you can go with. There's only one proper choice. You have to pick the Trojan for her pleasure, because that's the only one that says in the name that it's going to be more pleasurable for the woman. And that way, even if your performance is poor later, at least she knows going in, your heart was in the right place. And maybe you don't know what makes them so pleasurable. I know what makes them so pleasurable. I've experienced them. And here's what makes them so pleasurable to women. They have ribs on them. That's what women love. They love ribs. They love ridges. They can't get enough of them. That's why you see so many women turned on in potato chip aisles. They just can't get enough. They can't get enough of these ridges. It's a big thing with women. I always overhear women like just having a girls' night, and I overhear what they're talking about, and they're always going, never fails. They're always going, you know, penises are fine, but I just hate how smooth they are. It's a real bummer for me. I wish I could just meet a nice man with a rough penis, and then I could be a happy woman. If I could meet a doctor that had a penis that felt like a corduroy, I think I'd finally settle down. I I took one woman on a date to see Romeo and Juliet, the ballet. We went to the ballet. Romeo and Juliet. It was a fun time. I don't know if ballet is my favorite thing, but we were there. I could tell you the thing I like least about the ballet was on the program for the ballet. It said, Romeo and Juliet, the greatest romance of all time. I don't think that's true. You agree. It's not true. Romeo and Juliet is not the greatest romance of all time. Have you even seen The Notebook? Are you kidding? Get out of here. You're going to pick Romeo and Juliet over Gosling? You're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your mind. Have you ever seen 50 First Dates, where Adam Sandler makes Drew Barrymore fall in love with him every day because she has amnesia? That's romance right there. How romantic is that? Plus, fellas, how great would it be? Every once in a while, you just take a whole month off and nobody knows about it. That's romance. Do you guys want to play a game? We could play a game on this CD. I like to play this game when I do this joke where people from the audience yell out movies, and I put them into the format of this joke and see if I can make it work. Anybody want to try one? Go ahead.
Top Gun.
Okay, let me give Top Gun a try. People say Romeo and Juliet is the greatest romance of all time. It's like, have you even seen Top Gun? Romeo and Juliet has no shirtless guys playing volleyball. Top Gun's got 4. That's romance. People say Romeo and Juliet is the greatest romance of all time, but have you even seen Ghostbusters? I'll do Beetlejuice next. Hold on, let me finish Ghostbusters. Have you seen Ghostbusters? I've never seen anything more hot than the gatekeeper and the keymaster. You know, they go together. That's all there is to it. People say... Also, you don't have to shout quite that loud. I'll do it. I mean, you shouted like you were at the back of an amphitheater. We're in a basement. There's only... You were louder than I am on the microphone just when you shouted that. I appreciate it, and I'll give it a try. This is how we should have started the show. This is fun. People say Romeo and Juliet's the most romantic movie of all time, but have you even seen Schindler's List? I mean, there's lots of nudity in it, but... Not a fun one. Here's my favorite one anyone's ever shouted out. It's not Schindler's List, but here's my... Rambo? All right. I don't know. You know what? I honestly don't know enough about Rambo to even do that. All right, here, let me just close up this joke with 2. Here's my favorite one. Anyone ever suggested? People say Romeo and Juliet is the greatest romance of all time, but have you ever seen Nomeo and Juliet? It has all the same drama, and they're gnomes on top of everything. How about that? All right, it's not you guys' favorite of all time, but that doesn't mean it can't be my favorite of all time. Oh my God, I almost forgot to do this joke. I don't do a lot of political... This is the first political joke that I've ever recorded, but I'm going to give a political joke a try right now. Thank you for the 2 claps in anticipation of how controversial this Tinder joke about politics is going to be. So I've noticed on dating apps, on Tinder and Bumble, there's a lot of women that say no Republicans or no Donald Trump supporters. A lot of women saying that. But I've never seen any of them say no Democrats. So surprisingly, when it comes to doing it, Republican women are much more liberal. That was one of the jokes I forgot to do. Yeah, it was good. It worked out pretty good. I think I've almost done it. People say Romeo and Juliet is the greatest romance of all time, but have you ever seen Throw Mama from a Train? I mean, imagine how romantic your life would be. No mother-in-law. What do you do? All right, guys, I've almost succeeded in doing this. So I told you about my favorite hotel experience, the Red Roof Inn. The weirdest hotel experience I've ever had in this last year is I accidentally stayed at a sex hotel by myself On accident. I booked it. I was using a booking app, and the booking app gave a little blurb about the hotel, and it said every room has a hot tub. And I was just like, hell yeah, Daddy's about to take a soak this afternoon. So I booked this hotel, and I got there, and I realized it was a sex hotel. I called my friend. I told him I was staying there, and he goes, you can't stay there. That's disgusting. People have had sex in that hotel room before. And I didn't know how to break the news to him that people have sex in all of the hotel rooms. I don't know what kind of world he's living in where he thinks people are checking in over at the Super 8 like we're horny, but we can't do it here. We got to keep this room nice for the next people. So the room was wild. They made a lot of design choices that I don't see in normal hotel rooms. The first thing I saw was there was no windows. They chose to have no windows in the sex hotel. I assume for privacy, but it doesn't make sense to me because I've had sex before, and every time I've done it, curtains were able to keep what was happening from the outside world. But the people that designed this hotel, they were like, curtains aren't going to cut it for what we have in mind. We got to get 10 inches of concrete between these freaks and the rest of humanity. There's mirrors everywhere. Every single service had a mirror. The ceiling, walls, all mirrored. That's because the hottest place you can do it is in front of a mirror. That's why you see so many people doing it in a funhouse maze down at the fair. That's the hottest place you could ever do it. Just like, hey, baby, get over here. Let's do it in front of the one that makes me look real skinny. But it makes my head look real big. And the weirdest thing that I saw in the sex hotel was over the bed of the sex hotel, mounted to the ceiling on chains. There was a swing. There was a swing in there. People are doing it in swings. I didn't know that. It's making me take another hard look at playgrounds. I can tell you that much. I think it's weird they put 4 of them in a row at the playground. Could we at least get some dividers? Give these kids some privacy, for crying out loud? I was alone, so I don't know how you do it in a swing. I can only guess. My first guess is you put your partner in the swing, and then you swing them out, and you just hope for the best in the return journey. You just line it up like a bar game, trying to get a bullseye, right? Trying to get a bullseye, or also right below the bullseye, there's a second, tighter bullseye that some people are okay with. I don't know, it's either that, or maybe you get in the swing together, and then you call the front desk, just like, hey, we're in room 514, could you send someone up? We need a push. No underdogs, we're afraid of heights. I was alone, though, so I don't know if it's fun to have sex in a swing, though. I can tell you it's a fun place to watch Food Network for a few hours. That's what I ended up doing. I was just in the swing, swinging my little heart out, watching episodes of Bee Bobby Flay. Oh, I wonder what the secret ingredient's going to be today. I hope that it's sweet potatoes. All right. And that's all the jokes that are going to be on the CD. After the show. So like I said, I've fucked up the VIP thing. It was a miscommunication. So if you want, come over here. You can have, I have 3 albums all on cards that you just go to a website, type in the code, and it downloads to your computer. You can have all 3 of them for free. And I also have some stickers. You can have some stickers for free too. If you want, if you got a VIP, if you're still upset, maybe I'll just give you $6 back. I don't know what to do. I apologize. Also, I sell T-shirts after the show. Here's one. Thanks. And I was just going to give T-shirts to everyone that bought the VIP because I felt so bad that happened, but there's 50 of you, and there's 80 people here. So I'm not doing so well that I can give away 50 free T-shirts. But I am going to sell them at half price, so just $10. I don't know. I give too much information. They cost me $7, so I'm still making a profit, but it's not like a great profit. But there's a ambulance on it. There's a ambulance on the shirt. That's what it is. Yeah, it's $10. Please say hi. Please hang out. Talk to me. I love to see. I see so many familiar faces. I like to hang out. I'm going to hang out upstairs. We'll have a great time. I feel like I had another thing I was going to say. Well, I'm going to do a couple more jokes, but... I love you too. I think I wrapped up everything I need to talk about. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, I'm going to tell you 3 more jokes. these jokes, which Walgreens? It was Diversey and Halstead, right by my house. Right by my place in Chicago. Okay, so I have 3 more jokes, and these jokes I wrote before I got a divorce. So it's gonna be weird for me to do them right now, but I'm gonna do them anyway because we're recording right now, and I don't know if you know this, but a lot of my stuff gets played on the internet, on Pandora and Spotify. It's like the coolest thing. It's where I get a lot of people listening and finding out about my comedy, and I get money every time one of my jokes plays. So really, you guys could all do me a big favor and go to Pandora when you get home and make an Andy Woodhull station, press play on your computer, put your computer on mute, and then let it play for the rest of your life. I would be super grateful to all of you. I got 2 of them going to my hotel right now, just trying to make enough gas money that I can drive home with the econ button off. Anyway, I'm going to tell these jokes because, I went through a divorce, and some people were like, how'd the divorce turn out? What did you get? I got these 3 jokes. So I was going to do them. Okay, can we have a drink? We'll wrap this up. So my girls are stepkids. Obviously, they don't look like me, but they have taken on some of my personality traits, which makes me proud. I don't know how much everyone else appreciates it, because the main personality trait they picked up from me is sarcastic jerk. That's the big one. They are great. They're great. They're teenagers, too, so that means they're never wrong about anything, and they use that to mess with my head constantly, because I always think I'm wrong. Like, I think I grew up here, right here in Indiana, but if someone came up to me confidently and was like, you're from Spain, right? I would go, maybe. I don't remember everything that happened to me when I was a kid. One of my girls said to me once, I don't think Wyoming is real. And I laughed, because that's a crazy thing for her to say. And then she goes, have you ever been there? And I said, no. And she said, do you know anyone from there? And I said, no. And then she just goes, well. As if she had won an argument with me about the existence of Wyoming. And I know I'm right, but I'm not smart enough to prove it to her. I showed her Wyoming on a map, and she's like, it's too square, not buying it. I showed her Wyoming's Wikipedia page, and she just goes, so you believe everything you read on the internet? They would drive my wife crazy. One time my wife said to me, I don't know why these girls won't admit it when they're wrong. Where do you think they get that from? Right? I mean, I have a guess, and it's not my side of the family genetically. So I don't want to bash her, but here's just one quick story about one time that she was maybe wrong about one thing. I had bought her this cheese plate for Christmas a few years back. It was a cheese plate. It was beautiful. It was from that kitchen goods store, Sur La Table. You know that one? I know it's pronounced Sur La Table, not Sur La Table, but the one I feel dumber trying to pronounce it right than I feel pronouncing it wrong. So I say table. And also, if you want me to pronounce the name of your store with a French accent, don't be in a strip mall between a Gamp and an Annie Ann's pretzel. Oh, that's just the way I live my life. But so it's a fancy cheese board, and I was washing it one day because I had used it. Is the main reason I bought it for her, because I wanted it. And it broke while I was washing it. Water was able to break this thing. So it turns out it wasn't nice. It was a real piece of garbage because water broke it. I understand water is a powerful force, and it can create electricity and make the Grand Van Dam, the Grand Canyon. It can make the Grand Canyon over millions of years, but this wasn't millions of years. This was one spritz from the faucet, and it destroyed this cheese plate. And we have a water softener, so I should have thrown it away. But what I did instead was I moved it to the edge of the counter, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna fix this thing. I'm gonna get tools, I'm gonna get a workshop, elves, whatever it takes. I'm gonna put this back together so my family can enjoy cheese once again. And then I go on the road to do some stand-up comedy, and I forget about it. And I get an angry phone call from my wife. She called me, she goes, we have a real problem at home. The girls broke my cheese plate, and then they lied to me about it. So I took their phones away. And I was just like, gosh darn kids, right? No respect for other people's property. And then I told her the truth. I said it wasn't the kids, it was me. I apologize. I'm gonna try to fix it. So we can enjoy cheese once again. And I thought that would be the end of our conversation, but it wasn't. What she said next was, I don't know, I still feel like they had something to do with it. What do you think happened? Do you think this is a conspiracy going on right now? You think I'm covering for them? Do you think that those kids have one of those crazy high school cheese tasting parties people are always talking about? Mom and Dad are out of town and we got the keys to the cheese cellar. Come over, bring crackers. We're gonna party like we're in a gazebo in a Red Roof Inn parking lot. One time my wife made them a meal. She had to work at night, so she made them a meal and she cooked it in a pan. And she left the pan on the kitchen counter with a note that said, "This is your dinner, please heat it up in the oven." And then she went to work and she got home later that night and they hadn't made that meal. What they did was order pizza. And my wife was furious. She goes, "We got to punish these girls. I can't believe they've disrespected me in this way." And she said, "How should we punish them?" And I said, "Did they use their own money to buy that pizza?" And she said, "They did." And I was like, "Well, then they might have just won this round. I don't know that what they did was even wrong. I mean, save the food you made for me. I'll be happy to eat it when I get home if there's no pizza left. I would definitely eat your food in that case with no other options." And we couldn't think of a punishment, so we did nothing. And then months went by, and the same situation happened again. She made him a pan of food and left a note that said, "This is your dinner, heat it up in the oven, and this time don't order pizza. Last time, you didn't get in trouble because what you did was so surprising that we couldn't think of a punishment in a proper time frame. But we've been thinking about it for a couple months, and we have several ideas of what we'll do to you if you order pizza tonight." And then she got home from work, and they had ordered Chinese food. And I don't know that I've ever been more proud of those girls than I was that night. Do you understand all the things they did that they don't normally do? They read something. They comprehended everything it said, and then they used critical thinking to come up with a solution to their own problem. We had a dog, too. My dog, dog. Darwin. We had a dog, Darwin. Best dog I ever had. Golden Retriever, too. Are there Golden Retriever fans? Best dog I ever had. They love that dog so much. And we bought her. That's controversial. People don't like it but we did buy her. It's great if you can rescue a dog, but they're also for sale, so maybe don't get so worked up. People get real worked up, but what happens to the dogs that are for sale if you don't buy them? Won't they eventually end up at the shelter? I mean, I'm just kind of cutting out the middleman, aren't I? I don't know why people always look at me like I'm a jerk because I'm living with a first-round draft pick. I already got these 2 rescue daughters. Can't I start from scratch with something? Anyway. We wanted to do a rescue. We really wanted to do a rescue. We even signed up for this rescue program, Golden Retriever Rescue Program. We filled out forms. They came to our house. They did a home visit. And then they let us know that they didn't feel that a dog would be right for our home. And we were like, "We have kids living in this house." And they said, "We know. And we've contacted those people as well." And we were all so bummed out that we weren't going to get that dog. We were all so sad for about 10 seconds. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm an adult human, and if I feel like it, I can buy dogs. So I just went to a farm and I bought a dog that doesn't flinch every time you pick up a magazine. All right, thank you so much for coming. You guys have been amazing. Good night, everybody. Do another encore, because just as I was leaving, I picked up my notes and I realized that I forgot one. At least I think I did. Did I do it? Maybe I didn't. Man, I am fucking scatterbrained right now. Did I do this one about 2 girls waiting to talk to me after a show? Okay, good. Well, thank God, man. This is. Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I didn't think you would clap long enough for me to come back, so I'm just gonna do it. It's not really encore. It's just one I forgot. So, okay, all right. Let me make sure this is the only one. Sorry, guys. You guys have been so great. I'm glad that I got to do this with you. Okay. All right. So, I don't want to bum anyone out with divorce jokes. I know divorce is sad, but I really don't want to bum anyone out. And this happened after a show one time. I was selling merch, and these 2 women were waiting until I was done selling merch. Just these 2 beautiful young women were waiting, and then they came and said hi to me, and they said, we love the show, but we could tell that maybe you're a little sad about some of the things that have happened in your life. And we thought that the two of us could do something special for you tonight. We thought we could do something for you that's maybe never happened for you before in your life. Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought was going to happen to people that are giggling. I thought that's what they were talking about. And I'm going over in my head, like, what did I leave out in the hotel? Is it clean? What website did I leave up on the computer? And then these girls say, yeah, we want to do something special for you tonight. We want to pray for you tonight. Which is also a very nice gesture. It's a very nice gesture to pray for someone, but I think they could tell from my face that I was a little disappointed. So they said, what did you think we were going to say? And I was like, I don't think the two of you want to hear what I thought that you were going to say. I mean, I could put it like this. I just thought that there was a chance that the two of you were the answer to a prayer that I've been saying since I was 15 years old. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Good night.
Andy Woodhull, everybody. That was Andy Woodhull. Elkhart, Indiana's own.